evening, I'm Amanda Decker. A week-long search for three dangerous siblings out of Florida ends halfway across the country. Police captured the Doherty gang south of Pueblo, Colorado, following a high-speed chase. The cross-country manhunt came to an abrupt end today when their car crashed while being pursued. 29-year-old Grace Doherty, her 21-year-old brother Ryan, and 26-year-old half-brother Dylan have been on the run since August 2nd, when police say they shot at a Florida officer, then robbed a bank in Georgia. To the ongoing riots in England now, which continued for a fourth night. About 16,000 police officers were deployed in London to try and restore peace. British Prime Minister David Cameron says those responsible for breaking the law will be charged.
We have seen the worst of Britain, but I also believe we've seen some of the best of Britain. The million people who've signed up on Facebook to support the police. Communities coming together in the clean-up operations. But there is absolutely no room for complacency. And there is much more to be done.
Some of the worst violence last night was in northwestern cities of Manchester and Liverpool. Cameron said police have been authorized to use whatever means necessary to combat the violence. The riots have now prompted the United States to issue a travel warning for Americans. Time for Global News Now. This is newly acquired video of the search for an American woman missing in Aruba. 35-year-old Robin Gardner of Maryland was last seen a week ago near Baby Beach. Authorities have detained her traveling companion, who they will only identify as GVG. Prosecutors say GVG told authorities he had been snorkeling with Gardner and he signaled her to swim back, but he never saw her again. A United Nations aircraft carrying emergency aid for thousands of displaced people has now landed in Mogadishu, Somalia, the agency's first aid airlift to the city in 5 years. It was the first of 3 scheduled flights. It brought in tents and supplies from Dubai and will provide aid to thousands of Somalis displaced by famine and drought. China's first aircraft carrier hit the high seas for a test run this morning. The vessel was purchased from the Ukraine in the 1990s. China spent nearly a decade refurbishing the 67,000-ton, 1,000-foot ship. The Asian country once renounced aircraft carriers as tools of imperialism. It recently began developing a blue water navy along with air power to back it up. And that's your Global News Now. To Wall Street now, where the Dow climbed 430 points yesterday after news that interest rates won't go up until the year 2013. The Fed says it'll likely keep rate zero for the next 2 years. However, today, stocks are dropping dramatically again as the Fed's news sinks in. Analysts say traders had a chance to sleep on it and now realize the Fed apparently doesn't have much confidence in the economy to make such a determination. The price of gold is reaching record levels, rising to more than $1,700 per ounce this week. The value of gold doesn't depend on whether countries can make their bond payments. As Christina Chambers from our Columbus, Georgia affiliate WLTZ reports, people are looking at this as a golden opportunity to cash in at the pawn shop.
As long as the stock market's down, pawn shops and jewelry stores in East Alabama say investors are pushing their findings into gold.
Now you clean out your jewelry box, and where you might wind up with $100 or $200 4 years ago, now all of a sudden, you wind up with $1,000.
And that seems to be the case here for Vince Swanson, owner of Swanson Diamonds in Auburn Pawn.
We've always bought gold, but with the price being what it is, it's just tenfold.
The soaring price of gold reflects the United States debt crisis. Like Swanson Brandy Todd with Auburn Rare Coins and Gold says she's received a lot of calls about gold prices.
We do have people come in and ask about, the prices of gold. Is it up or down?
Gold's record high prices pushed it past platinum, a harder to mine precious metal that traditionally trades at a premium to gold.
But it's always changing. It's going up and down, silver and gold. 1 minute it can be down, the next minute it can be high. We never know.
Swanson says the going price for gold today is $1,737 per ounce, but he says that's also subject to change throughout the day.
I do think it will go back down. I think the big question is how much.
Swanson says with the fear of a recession, we'll probably see gold at a premium until you see an improvement in economic conditions.
There again, that will have a lot to do with what happens with our economy over the next 2, 5, 10 years, how quick it comes back, how strong it comes back.
Christina Chambers reporting for INN News.
Gold prices are up and gas prices are on their way down. The current price for regular unleaded is now $3.64. That's down from $3.65 yesterday. Prices are falling about a penny a day on average. Still, we are paying about $1 more per gallon than we did this time last year. When gas prices are up, gas station owners know they can expect the occasional gas theft, usually by filling up and driving off. But as Megan McRoberts from our Omaha affiliate KPTM explains, the owner of Steve's Service Auto Care Center is looking for the thieves who took thousands of dollars worth of his gas.
If someone has the desire to steal, gas station owner Steve Hassenjaeger knows they'll find a way to make it happen.
I'd say it's a sign of the times that money's tight, but how do you stop a thief? Locks are for honest people.
To commit the crime his station saw, Hassenjaeger says it takes a real mastermind.
I've owned these pumps for 20 years. I didn't know how to do that. Not that I would want to have tried to figure it out.
A surveillance tape caught this man as he managed to break a mechanism inside this gas pump. Doing so allowed more than 800 gallons of premium gas to flow for free. He started by filling up his car and one other vehicle during the day. He then came back later that night, where he was caught making calls inviting over 20 vehicles with countless empty jugs and gas cans to fill up.
The owner credits one Good Samaritan for finding out days later that the crime even happened. The man filled up his entire tank at this pump for just 58 cents. Told the workers about his bargain, who then looked to see if there was a bigger problem.
When we originally found the pump was out of repair, we didn't realize we were missing all the gas yet. So we had the pump fixed, went home that night, did bookwork, and oh my God, we're 804 gallons short.
And to make up for the loss, worth more than $3,300, Hassenjaeger says he'll most likely have to raise prices.
Get a life, get a job. That would be go get a job.
Hassenjaeger hopes they will soon see some consequences. Megan McRoberts reporting for INN News.
Now an amazing story of survival and rescue. 12-year-old Dale Ostrander was swept into a vicious riptide off Long Beach, Washington last weekend. Rescuers searched for him for about 25 minutes. As that happened, his church group began praying on the beach, hoping for a miracle. He was finally pulled out. He was lifeless, but all of a sudden he began to cough. He does have a long recovery ahead. He is expected to get better. An artichoke on wheels. Well, that's being kind. Next, what others are saying about the most disliked car of 2011. Plus, did your GPS send you several miles in the wrong direction? We'll shed some light on why the sun could be to blame. And boy or girl, how a simple test will soon be able to let parents know what they're having. Coming up on INN. And we want to remind you that INN News is on Facebook. Now you can also find us on Twitter at INN News Network and on YouTube. We're reaching out to you so you can reach out to us. We'll be right back.